In today's video, we're continuing our coverage on the kaiju legendary MonsterVerse, Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. So this movie is just over a month away, comes out at the end of March. We've had 3 trailers, technically. The first trailer was trailer 1, which was the tease trailer that revealed Scar King. Then we had the first official trailer, which is technically trailer 1, but it's really trailer 2. And then we had trailer 3, which basically revealed Shimu without revealing Shimu, which was technically trailer 2, but it's really trailer 3. But we still don't know that much about the movie unless you have read the plot leaks or listened to plot-based videos that I've done. So yo, what is good YouTube? We'll see you here if you're new around, make subscribe to never miss any of the kaiju, MonsterVerse, Marvel, DC, pop culture based content that I try to deliver on a daily basis. If you could become a channel member for less than 99p, it really is appreciated. Also check us out on Instagram at WarStew to see your face behind the voice. Check us out on Twitter or x.com WarStewG over there, so please follow me. So, not much is known about this movie. We know the main villain is Scar King, an orangutan. So we know what he wants. He wants to overthrow Earth and become the dominant species and basically take over Earth. That's pretty obvious. So it's interesting because they've revealed Shimu in 5 different scenes in the most recent trailer. There is so many toys out there with Playmates, Funko Pop, etc. about Shimu, the mother of the Titans, and that really triggers people. I don't understand why, but not much is known about Shimu. If you take away the plot leaks, Shimu is the overall villain. Kong is so terrified of her. Godzilla is also terrified of her because the dialogue by Dr. Andrew says there's something down there, and they both sense it and they're both scared. Has Shimu and Godzilla met before? We don't know. We know there's the ongoing theory that Shimu caused the Ice Age and froze King Ghidorah, which would make Shimu the most powerful MonsterVerse Titan ever. There is some theories, or some people hypothesizing, that Godzilla is an ancestor of Shimu, the Ghidorahs, potentially. I mean, Shimu looks more like a turtle. Shimu can actually literally freeze her enemies, which would make her the most powerful Titan ever. It's going to be interesting because the plot leaks do allude to showing some of the great wars between the Ghidorahs and the Kongs. We don't really, in fact, we don't know much about anything really, because even the Great War is hypothesized. We had the Call of Duty event with the image that came out that people thought was Space Godzilla. You can see Godzilla looks smaller, but people seem to think this is now Shimu. Now, there is a post-credit scene. Allegedly, I've been told this so many times, that there is a huge post-credit stinger. We're going to go over that towards the end of the video, but some people seem to think it's Space Godzilla. I remember when I had some leaks before the test screener, well over a year ago, and people alluded to the fact that the main villain was going to be Space Godzilla. And I say Shimu is basically Space Godzilla without them paying to use the rights to Space Godzilla. And yeah, I get it, there's so many differences, but just chill out, lads. So the cause of the Great War is actually not really known. The Ghidorah species caused conflict because potentially somebody ate some type of star, causing them to go evil. Both species eventually fought together to drive the evil Ghidorahs out of Hollow Earth, in which they were successful. The Kongs discovered that the Ghidorah crystal dorsal plates could be used as tools and weapons, but the Ghidorahs didn't allow it, treating the idea of using Godzilla's dorsal plate as weapons as disgraceful. Unfortunately, one of the Kongs killed a Ghidorah for a piece of crystal. Taking this as an act of war, the Godzillas would unite a feud with the Kongs that would last for centuries, eventually coming to an end with descendants, Godzilla and Kong, coming to terms with each other. So it's pretty clear by the end of Godzilla vs Kong that Godzilla and Kong came to a somewhat truce. And Adam Wingard recently said in an interview that they've got a truce. As long as Kong stays down in Hollow Earth, things are cool. But if Kong comes up to the surface world, then Godzilla is going to punch him in the face. Hence why they get into a fight. So Shimu is the most powerful Titan we've ever seen in the kaiju MonsterVerse, but not much is known about Shimu. She caused the Ice Age, and some people think she's a kind of weak version of King Ghidorah, which makes no sense to me because if the rumors are true and the information that's out there, you got to understand, a lot is somewhat known about Shimu, without them officially addressing Shimu. So you've kind of got to take the information you can find on Shimu. So Titanic Shimu is going to be insanely powerful. So Kong sees Shimu and he looks absolutely terrified. And Shimu's blast, the ice blast, is that powerful that it actually chips a little bit of his axe, which is absolutely insane. So we know Scar King is a alpha orangutan who has the whole tribe scared of him. So Shimu could overpower Scar King and freeze him and kill him pretty easily if she wanted to. So we know this whiplash weapon that Scar King has. We've seen it. It literally can pick up buildings. So there's a crystal that somehow gives Scar King the power over Shimu. And we know how this is going to come to a head. Shimu is neither a hero or a villain. There's this interesting theory going around that I've seen that reads like this. Shimu is not a protector or a destroyer, but simply an arrogant titan who wants to sleep, grow stronger from the Hollow Earth radiation, and does not care for any titan at all, seeing them as inferior to it. So what's interesting is Shimu draws power from the radiation in Hollow Earth. So if you depower Shimu and take Shimu away from the radiation in Hollow Earth, is Shimu actually stronger than the king of the monsters, Godzilla himself? We don't know because we've not actually really seen Shimu yet. I have heard that there will be new footage. There will be a new trailer coming out at some point. Now, we know we have IGN FanFest. Now, people originally thought the trailer was going to be there, and last time they did a FanFest before Godzilla Vs Kong came out in 2021, they did reveal tiny bits of footage. So Legendary and Warner Bros., which is the distributor, Legendary made the movie, they need to just officially reveal Shimu already. So this theory goes on to say, when angered or threatened, it will kill anything that stands in the way, which could be why King Ghidorah was frozen, if Shimu really was the one to do it. Because we don't really know who frozen Shimu. Before the Shimu reveal, a lot of people thought that Godzilla was kind of behind it. However, Scar King was able to use the knowledge to form a deal with Shimu by explaining if he helps on his conquest with power, he will give the most powerful source of Hollow Earth energy on this planet. So this is why Shimu is not only helping Scar King, but is also a dangerous threat to all life on Earth. Now, this theory is really flawed because I've read the plot leaks and because I know exactly how Scar King is controlling Shimu with the crystal. And when the crystal snaps and breaks, Scar King has no control over Shimu, and then Shimu will freeze him, and then King Kong will slap him up, and then goodbye Scar King. Now, I'd rather they not kill Scar King, but let's be honest, I'll be transparent. We know the leaks, and we know they're basically true, and we know Scar King will be. But it's going to be interesting to see which way they go with Shimu, because like I've said multiple times, we need a standalone Godzilla movie after this. We need a standalone Godzilla movie. So why don't we have the villain of a standalone Godzilla movie be Shimu? Because if Godzilla is an ancestor of Shimu, then they would be perfect to fight each other. Which I find fascinating because I can go with what the leaks say because I know it's true, but it would be more fascinating for me if Shimu is actually a villain. Shimu kills Kong. Sorry, I needed a title. I'm not even going to put that title, but maybe I will. But it is interesting because although leaks can be true and they cannot be true, there are some leaks out there that I've read that suggest that Shimu is actually a villain and is not this nice lass who is just under control. Because that would be boring. But there can't be too much backstory in this movie because it's only an hour and 45 minutes long. So let's go over this. So there's some information coming out. I mean, I don't know if it's true or not. That basically says Space Godzilla is going to be the post-credit scene. Now, there's been multiple creators over the last 5 years who have stated there's evidence that Space Godzilla will appear in the MonsterVerse at some point. And just because an Instagram post appears, it's on some random post on Reddit. I mean, I was told there is a stinger, like an ending scene if you like. And, you know, we've had Mecha Godzilla before. Space Godzilla would imply that he's from space. So that would be interesting. But King Ghidorah was an alien in a roundabout way. So do we need Space Godzilla? No. But would I prefer Space Godzilla over Destroyer? Yes, because it is far too early for destroy all monsters. Because that is like the end game for the Kaiju MonsterVerse. And we're not that many movies in, really, but we need some standalone movies. We need a Kong movie. We need a Godzilla movie. And I get it. I guarantee if this movie does well, we will get a third movie with Godzilla and Kong teaming up again. But if they do have to team up again, let it be someone strong and not Scar King and Shimu. It's like, I mean, I don't want to say this, but Godzilla X Kong New Empire, it's basically a Marvel movie, but with monsters. In a way, I mean, I know there is some human attributes to this movie with Trapper, with Dr. Andrews, with Gia, etc. But this movie basically is an Avengers movie, let's be honest. Let's team up to take down the threat. They don't have to like each other. They just have to work together. Such a corny line. But saying that, the Avengers movie did very well. So is Space Godzilla powerful enough for both Kong and Godzilla? Hell, throw Shimu in there. We know that, spoilers, we know Mothra's in this movie. We know that actually Titanic is Doug. Actually, there's so, and we've got the snake-like. In fact, there's so many kaiju monsters, creatures in this movie that it could be interesting. And the last movie did just under $500 million, and it was day and date release on HBO Max. And this was in 2021, just when the cinemas were reopening. So if this movie does not do $700 million plus, then I think the only cause for blame would be to the distributor Warner Bros. Discovery, because this movie has such weird marketing. They are marketing this movie so weird. But then again, it's good. You're getting everyone talking about Shimu, and it's so obvious to tell who's read the plot leaks or not, because people saying, oh, Shimu is rumored. No, I mean, if you're going to react to said trailer, you would not know who this new Titan's called, because no one's ever said the name before. You could be like, oh my God, it's Space Godzilla. Although it looks like a turtle. It looks nothing like Space Godzilla at all. So do I believe the Space Godzilla is true, that we're going to get a stinger with Space Godzilla randomly turning up at the end of the movie? I think you're more likely to get someone like Destroyer. Space Godzilla is a fan favorite, but then again, Mothra is a fan favorite. But then again, everyone is a fan favorite. So it will be interesting. Hell, Mecha King Ghidorah could show up. Anybody could show up. So I do find it interesting. People seem to think that Space Godzilla is turning up. I'm not a warrior because I chose to be. I'm a warrior because the Lord Jesus Christ has called me to be. Everyone seems to think Space Godzilla is going to turn up at the end of the movie. So of course your boy War Stew is going to talk about it. I spoke about Space Godzilla being the main villain over a year and a half ago, and sure, I was wrong, but I'm not a scooper. If I get the wrong information, get the wrong information. But I'll talk about it, because I talk about literally everything on this channel to do with the MonsterVerse. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at War Stew, because that'd be cool. I really want to hit 30,000 followers on Instagram this year. Check us out on Twitter, WarStewG. I do respond back to most people. And I will catch you in another video, guys, very soon. Catch ya later.